The Grand Colosseum of Zarthal had hosted gladiatorial combat for over 2 millennia. Species from across the galaxy came to prove their worth in ritual combat, following traditions older than most civilizations. The rules were sacred, unchanged since the arena's founding. No weapons, no armor, no technological enhancements. Only natural strength, speed, and cunning. When humanity petitioned to join the tournament, the arena masters barely suppressed their laughter. High Arbiter Velkoth studied the human representative with barely concealed amusement. The creature was small by galactic standards, barely 2 meters tall, with soft pink skin and no visible natural weapons. No claws, no fangs, no armored carapace, no poison, no spinis. Just smooth, vulnerable flesh. You understand the rules, human Marcus Rivera? Velkoth's forearms gestured dismissively. No weapons of any kind. Combat ends in death or submission. Marcus nodded calmly. We understand perfectly. The crowd of 80,000 spectators filled the massive amphitheater, representing dozens of species eager to watch the humans embarrass themselves. The betting pools heavily favored the other contestants. Kethvar warriors with razor-sharp claws, armored Thok berserkers whose hide could deflect energy blasts, and the dreaded Nexus fighters whose acidic blood made them nearly untouchable. The first human challenger stepped into the arena. David Kim was unremarkable by human standards, a former mixed martial arts instructor who'd volunteered when Earth received the invitation. He wore only simple shorts, his hands wrapped in basic cloth bindings as per arena tradition. His opponent was Graxthor the Render, a 3-meter-tall Kethvar whose victory record included over 200 kills. The alien's claws gleamed like surgical steel, each one capable of slicing through reinforced metal. The horns sounded, and Graxthor charged with a roar that shook the arena walls. David stepped aside with fluid grace, his movement so economical it seemed almost casual. As the massive alien thundered past, David's hand shot out in a precise strike that connected with Graxthor's neck just below the skull. The Kethvar warrior collapsed instantly, his nervous system temporarily shut down by the precise pressure applied to a cluster of nerve endings that David had studied from alien anatomy texts. The crowd fell silent. Impossible, whispered Velkoth. No species can generate that kind of striking power without natural weapons. Marcus Rivera smiled from a human delegation box. High Arbiter, you banned weapons from the arena. You didn't ban knowledge. The second match began. Sarah Mitchell, a former army medic, faced a Thok berserker whose armored hide had never been penetrated in combat. Sarah danced around the creature's powerful swings, her hands mapping its anatomy with each contact. A strike to the solar plexus, a precise blow to the kidney. A calculated pressure point behind the knee that dropped the seemingly invulnerable warrior like a stone. By the fifth match, the arena had erupted in chaos. Spectators demanded explanations as human after human dismantled opponents that should have torn them apart. The humans didn't rely on natural weapons. They had turned their hands into guided missiles, each strike precisely calculated to exploit anatomical weaknesses their opponents didn't even know they possessed. Jake Thompson, a former Navy SEAL, faced 3 opponents simultaneously in the semifinal. The crowd watched in stunned silence as he systematically disabled each one with strikes that seemed to barely connect but left his enemies unconscious or paralyzed. Ow! Velkoth demanded during the intermission. Your species has no claws, no fangs, no natural weapons. How are you defeating warriors bred for millennia for combat? Marcus stood slowly, his eyes scanning the packed arena. High Arbiter, you're thinking about this wrong. You see hands as the absence of weapons. He held up his own hands, flexing his fingers. We see them as the ultimate weapon, 10 individual striking surfaces capable of infinite precision, backed by a brain that can calculate trajectories, force vectors, and anatomical vulnerabilities in real time. He gestured to the arena floor where Jake was preparing for the final match against the reigning champion. Every human child learns to use their hands as tools from birth. We've spent thousands of years refining the art of applying force precisely where it's needed most. You banned weapons, but you didn't ban the most sophisticated weapon in the known galaxy. The final match lasted 37 seconds. Jake Thompson, using nothing but his hands and the accumulated knowledge of human combat arts, defeated a champion who had held the title for 17 consecutive years. As the human was declared Grand Champion of Zarthol, Marcus Rivera addressed the stunned crowd. You wanted to see what species could do without weapons. You just learned that humans don't need weapons. We are weapons. The arena rules were quietly changed the following year to include excessive anatomical knowledge as a band enhancement. Some advantages, it turned out, couldn't be regulated away.